Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a 1v1 me for gold. This is something that I haven't done in a while, but I figured why not bring it back, have some fun, see how it goes. Now, Toby, I do actually know he's a decent player, and he's trying to drive like the most cringe tank possible, which is the Type 71. What do I want to use to counter the Type 71? Now, I know in the past when I've done these, people are like, oh my god, you're not using the same tank, or oh my god, you're using a better tank, and honestly, I don't care, because I am giving away gold, so if people want to beat me, they have any option of tier 10 they want to use, and if I pull out the best of the best, well, that's simply not my problem. I was thinking about the 777, but because the type is very, very cringe armor, and it's going to be able to cut through my 777... Actually, you know what? I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we're going to do the 777. I was going to do the Super Conk, but even I feel like the Super Conqueror would just dominate the Type 71. So I'm going to do something which I feel is on a similar level to the Type. I think that this vehicle has... You know what, I probably should have loaded more gold, though. So we'll see. We will see what happens here. But in general, the 777 is a very, very solid tank due to the mobility, due to the DPM, and the overall capabilities. And the thing about the 777 that I was thinking is that the Type has premium AP, which means that it might actually struggle to cut through the roof of my vehicle, which is something that's quite good for me. So we're going to just see where exactly this Type is going to go. I'm going to go over here. Interesting. Alright, well, if you're not over here, there you are. Easy shell into the Type already. And let's back on up just like this. Alright, that's already not too bad. And there you go. Type misses, which means now I have the opportunity to push up here. And there you go. Another nice shot. 352. This is where the 777 definitely has its own elegance and capabilities here, right? The DPM on this tank is very nice, and oh yeah, you're just getting cooked right now, I'm not gonna lie. Absolutely cookered. Alright, let's aim in on the Type again. There you go, nice 357. And so far, this is not going very well for the Type. I'm going to load a standard shell, that way I can obviously guarantee myself a pen here. And let's go for another standard shell. Yeah, this game's over. Honestly, it wouldn't have mattered really which tank I drove at this point, because it was going to be cooked either way. And boop. Alright, well, there you have it. Sorry, Toby. Unfortunately for you, that was indeed a defeat. Honestly, I don't think it would have mattered which tank I drove in that situation. I got the best of Toby right from the beginning and was able to simply win. So, unfortunately for you, Toby, yeet! I'll do GG though if he ever joins back. All right, who's next? 6M. Actually, you know what? Stevie Rogers was the second person I saw join the room. So we'll do this person. Now, this player is using the utmost of cringe. It's a 113 GFT. It is literally the most cringe tier 10. So if they're going to use a cringe tier 10, I'm going to use a cringe tier 10. I got some options, obviously. I'm not going to use a tank destroyer because I think the 113 GFT is better than just about every tank destroyer in the game. So I'm not going to use something with bad heat pen like the 60 TP and inaccurate gun. I'm thinking more something like the AMX M4 or the Super Conqueror. I think we're going to go with the AMX M4. I think that this is the best overall tank that would counter the 113. And as I said, I think you can all agree the 113 GFT is basically the most cringe tier 10. So I'm going to play a tank that I think is also very cringe and able to defeat that vehicle. So first thing we need to do is figure out the play we want to make. And I want to try and close the distance. I have health, right? WZ is about 2200 health. I have 2800. I also have reactive. So realistically, I have about 3500 effective health. I don't want to be in a situation where the WZ is able to, outspot me and then nuke me because of that. So realistically, I'm going to try and close this gap as fast as possible and take out the WZ. we'll see what goes there, right? Because I have decent DPM in this vehicle. It's 2,500 with Cali. So unless the WC is running rammer, which is possible. Oh, that's not ideal. We're going to put on... Oh, well, I guess that was a waste of reactive. But it's all right. It's all right. I thought the WZ was going to be in a situation where I was going to, like, get nuked. It looked like that from the angle. But it's all right. Obviously, from where the WZ is, we can chill right here, and we can move up a bit. We have gun depression, the WZ does not, so that means realistically, if we can get into a haul-down position, we can get this player kind of digged out. And that's the goal we're going for here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to poke this. We don't have enough gun depression to use that spot, but what I do have the ability to do is go all the way wide, right? We have plenty of time. So in a 1v1, it's more about outsmarting and outplaying. So what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way wide like this, and we're going to see if this WZ is still here. I'm surprised that he left, to be honest, but you never know. Interesting. Did he actually leave this spot? I don't know what he's doing. Oh, there he is. Alright, well, if that's the case, I'm just going to push him, and, yeah, it's over. It's Jover. Yeah. Not really sure what's going to be done here. Let's go for that track wheel. Unfortunately, we don't end up tracking, but the WZ, as we know, has pretty bad traverse speed on terrain now due to the, you know, nerfs the vehicle received. So, because of that, I thought he was going to try and counter me on the ridgeline, which, I'm not going to lie, if he had, would have been the best play. And just unfortunately for him, it just didn't end up working out. Alright, well, there you go. That was a pretty easy win. Once again, wouldn't have mattered which tank I drove there. Yeah, I thought he was going to stay up top, and if he had, it would have been a lot harder for me to counter, because I would have had to, you know, poke and load gold, but I'm not sure what the thought process was there on that play, on pushing low, because you had the height advantage, and then you know, took it away. But it's alright. It's alright. You disappear. Next up, we have 6 AM in the 114 SP2. Now, the 114 is an interesting heavy because it's not a very good tank, but it's not a bad tank either. I'm trying to think of a vehicle that I would consider comparable to a 114. I think the E100 is decently comparable, but the only problem with the E100 is that I have weak turret armor, and the 114 actually has decent turret armor. I don't really think there's many tanks that would counter it well, but I think the VK72 is going to be a fair fight for the 114. So that's what we're going to use here. So we're going to try the VK72. We'll see how this vehicle ends up working out. I think it'll do okay. We have 2,700 health. I should have put on double sandbags, but it's alright. We have 2,700 health, and the 114 has around 2,700 health. Unless that player's running enhanced, then it has more like 2,500, but similar health and similar DPM. I do have the advantage of tungsten, but I also have the disadvantage of one repair kit, which means I have to be very careful. So, we'll see. We will see. Alright. See what we do here. So I'm obviously going to go to town. This is a heavy tank after all, and I'm going to play in terrain that suits my vehicle best. So I got a couple options of where I can drive and how I can play, and what we're going to do is we're going to go low first, and we're going to go... The 114 is faster, it has a better power to weight, and it has a better spawn. So realistically what that means is that this could be a bit sus, right? I mean, I got to climb up this hill super slow, going 8 kilometers per hour. So this is something that you have to keep in mind about this vehicle, is it's so incredibly slow. But we are able to get into this position here, and we're going to move up a bit more. Okay, going to turn my turret over here just in case. Alright. Now we can move over here. I see some destroyed... No, that's just destroyed from the game being normally like that. I would assume there's no way that the player drove their 114 to the medium flank. I just refuse to believe that would be a play they'd make. So if that's the case, I'm going to guess... Oh, there they are. And put on my tungsten. There you go. And he does shoot me back. I'm not going to use my repair kit. Not yet. I don't think that's a good play. I don't really care if you facehug me, to be honest. It doesn't really matter, especially because I can just hatch you. There you go. And now I'm just gonna wiggle my turret towards this direction. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So now that my modules have been thoroughly damaged, I can aim it over here, and then I can just swing my turret, get a nice heat shell into the 114. He's obviously gonna try and pen me, and we're gonna angle our hull out, angle it this way. Bruh, shot my gun again. Thankfully in a face hug, it doesn't really matter if your gun gets shot too much, because obviously it's, you know, it's just, we're too close for it to make a difference here. And now I just got to do the same thing as before. Angle the hull like this. Well, he gets the pen that time. However, with how much health we have and everything else going for us, I'm going to pretend like I'm aiming it on the hatch. Aiming, aiming, aiming. And then we slam the shell into his hull. Not bad. I think this was a fair tank to use in a fight here. Him face-hugging me, probably not the best play. He should have just backed up to the wall there and then tried to trade with me. Because face-hugging me, the problem is I have better turret armor. So you're putting yourself in a situation where I can gold through your turret, and you're going to have a harder time golding through mine. So it's unfortunate. But, alright, let's keep going here. Next up, who's next? Let's do, this guy in the minnow. Is this guy still here? I don't know. If he's going to use the minnow, I'm trying to think of a tank that would be, honestly, the Minnow's a really cringe tank to fight. It's probably up there for the most cringe in Tier 10 because of the damage output it has. But this player could also be AFK. I'm going to give him about 5 more seconds to ready up. Yeah, I'm just going to kick him out. If he comes back, I'll let him in. Alright. Stu Blackout. I think I saw him in the room. Okay, he's using the E100. I don't know what would be a good counter that's also, like, decently fair for the E100. Le E100. Let's do an interesting one. Let's do the FE215B. I have no clue how this will go, and I don't really like the 215B in regards to its capabilities sometimes, but it does have decent DPM, it has good mobility, and those are both things that you'd want from a vehicle. Alright. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to speed boost this immediately. And the reason why is because I want to dig out the C100, of course. That's the most important play I can make here. So we're going to speed boost all the way over to the heavy flank. And we're going to cut down here. And then what I'm hoping is that the 100 goes somewhere in this area. And we don't get shot in the crossing, and then we can dig right over here. This is like... perfect. There you go. Alright, so the 100's detected. And this spot we're in here, I think, is a pretty good one, because what it allows me to do is it allows me to get my tank right here, and then reverse it, and then I can chill in this spot. I think that realistically, I mean, yes, the roof of my tank is shoved up a bit, but I think realistically, this is a very, very good position to put myself in. There you go. Oh, he's running the 460. Interesting. To be fair, makes sense, but just a little bit surprising. Alright. So if we chill here, yeah, this position I'm in is like... I forgot my HE. Well, you shouldn't need too much HE anyway. Not against a 2 and 5B. And bonk. No, that was HE. What do you mean you forgot your HE? You mean premium? I'm not sure what he means. Ah, unfortunate. Well, we're doing fine. E100 does have, as I said, surprisingly good DPM for the vehicle. Oh, I didn't have gold loaded, that's why. Alright. We just keep chilling here, and we can reverse it a teeny bit. I think this here is about the best angle you're going to get for me. And we just wait. If the E100 shows me his turret, we can get another shell out. Interesting. I don't think he's going to poke that angle there, which means he might be poking this. Yep, there you go. I saw that get destroyed. Okay. Nice. 328. Alright, we're getting bleeds out. We're up quite a bit of health at this point, which is obviously important. And the more health we can be up, the better. So what I'm going to do a play that I don't think he's expecting. We're going to rush down here. And honestly, I'm just going to move up. I was going to go wide and get to a side, but I think because we have a health advantage at this point, and we have, you know, DPM advantage, we can just push up here and realistically get to the side of the C100 and bleed him out. Okay, that was just unfortunate. Do you only have HE? I'm so confused. Is that what he said? He only has HE? I don't understand what's going on here. He must not only have HE, right? Wait. I have no words. I have no words. I have no words. I'll give you a redo after this. There you go. Oh man, what a monkey. And bonk. Alright. Yeah, I swear the first shell he fired was an AP. I think it was. Unless it was just a non-petting HE, but I swear the first shell was an AP, and then maybe every other shell was HE. But I was like, what the heck? Either way, that was, yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to say. Alright, put you back there. Alright. The 50B, that was the minnow from before. If you're going to use a 50B, I'm going to use a tank with reactive. What I'm fully expecting is that player to just YOLO and be like Ooga Booga mode. So, you know, if you're going to use a cringe autoloader style vehicle, then could use an autoloader, but too bad there's no autoloaders with reactive. Could do the Kron. The 50B is so much more DPM than the Kron. I don't really like that situation. Especially with reactive on the 50B. So I think the best play here is to use a tank with reactive. I think, ooh, you know what? Oh, you know, we're going to use the Chieftain. Because the Chieftain is Hesh. So using a Hesh firing vehicle against the 50B, especially with not reactive, but tungsten and adrenaline. I think this is going to be I think this is going to be an interesting fight. Realistically, the 50B should win, as long as he pens his shots. But I think we'll be okay. We're at 16 minutes on the recording so far. We're doing pretty good. I need to put myself in a position where if the 50B decides to YOLO, I have the opportunity to back up, right? Chieftain's a fairly fast tank. It can reverse at 21 with double gear oil, which is what I'm running. And in general, it's a mobile tank, but it's not obviously as mobile as the it's not nearly as mobile as the 50B, so that's something to be expected. Alright, so I would assume the 50B is going to be over here. That's going to be my guess. Hello, good sir. I mean, he could play over here. If he does, that would be absolutely tragic for me. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, at this point, my guess is that he's either gone towards A and he's flanking around this way, or he's gone this way and he's flanking around. Either way, he's probably... Oh, I hear stuff breaking. There you go. Bonk 500. Not bad. Well, 460, but still not bad. Interesting. 2,300 health in the 50B. It's an interesting loadout there. Okay, and... let's load a standard HE. Ooh, 548. Yeah... yeah. He must have played passive and waited, but I heard something break over there, which was my cue to move up. So at this point, we're going to go this downhill route here, because this is going to give me a big boost in my acceleration. That's exactly what we need in this tank, right? We're going 50 kilometers per hour now. We're going to put on our tungsten. We're going to put on our adrenaline. 655, and I think at this point it's basically cooked. Load in another Hesh shell. 588. Yeah. Boop. I'll type in GG's. And bonk. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to make these tank choices fair. If they had been able to clip me and then back in the cover, that would have been their best opportunity. But obviously, that wasn't the best play. I'm also not sure why you only have 2,300 health. I thought you can run extra HP and get a bit more than that, but what do I know? Alright, we got Axolotl. Something like that. Interesting name. Let's put this player in. Let's see what they can do. Progetto. Alright, we're doing a medium. If you're going to do the Progetto, I'll do the Lion. I think that'll be an interesting one. They're both auto-reloaders. They're both pretty balanced in their respective capabilities, so I think this will be an interesting fight. Personally, I think the Progetto is a little bit better than the Lion in a 1v1 because it has, well, I don't know. I think that they're both pretty fair. Alright. Goob lug. Alright, so we're going to move up the bridge, obviously. So the Progetto's advantage is that it's more mobile, and it has more damage per shot. My advantage is that I have tungsten, and I have technically more DPM. But my reserve shell is only to be used in a last situation, where the Progetto can just dump its clip. So there are advantages to both tanks. Now, interestingly enough, this player in the Progetto is not going to the side of the map. I'm assuming they're going to go over there then. I don't know. I drive my tanks to the basic positions that I would drive a tank to, right? I go my mediums to medium flank, my heavies to heavy flank. You know, sometimes if I'm up against a goofy tank destroyer like the 113, I'm not going to play it in a normal spot, but in general, I'm going to expect the enemy player would do the same thing, but in this situation, that's clearly not been the case. I don't even know where this player would have gone. Oh, there you go. Okay, that was tragic, but you know what? It's alright. It's alright, because... Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head this way. And I'm going to pretend like I'm going this way. Then we're going to stop right here. We're just going to wait. I think eventually, if we wait long enough, that Progetto will be over here. Oh, I meant to do this. There you go. Okay, let's go over this way. Bonk. There you go. 352. Oh, unfortunate for you. Get a nice tracking shot as well. And then we back up. Now, this tank has most effective DPM on single shot, so all we need to do is poke the Progetto. There you go. Nice 411. Yeah, I think this one's a little cooked for you. Alright, well, at this point, we just reload, and we dump our full clip and kill. That's all we gotta do. Alright, and there's one. And two. And three. There you go. That's pretty easy. Another not too bad win. Victory. Alright, I think we'll do only maybe one or two more of these for today. Just because the video is already going to be 20 minutes. Wow, a lot of people joined. I don't know why. There was like so little people and then just a bunch joined at that moment. I'm trying to remember names, but it's hard to remember them. Alright, let's do... That guy we did. That guy we did. We got another tier 10. You know, this player's been in for a while. Let me see their win rate. Well, they're a reroll. All they have is the Chimera, though. Alright. What tier are you going... Oh, the T-32. Interesting. T-32. Could use the Strife. I feel like this would be an interesting fight. I mean, the Shark would just dominate the T-32. That wouldn't be fair. Alright. Yeah. Let's use the Strife. I think this will be an interesting fight. I think the Strife is worse than the T-32 due to the fact it doesn't have gun depression, but it's better in the fact that it has more hull armor, and it has really, really, really stupid levels of pen. Like, this tank has, I think, 317 20 millimeters of pen. So, yeah, I mean, that's the advantage. Alright, so we'll do this game. We'll do one more. We'll give that blackout guy one more chance, and then we'll end it off. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe today we will be undefeated. But if we're undefeated today, it just gives me more reasons to make more videos on this in the future. And as always, if you like content like this and you want to see more videos like this, again, please consider smashing that subscribe button. No cap. Well, I usually don't capper le base. So, where are they going to go? I mean, I would have assumed they would have gone over here. And the T-32 is similar levels of speed to this tank. I'd say the T-32 is slightly faster, but both are pretty immobile vehicles. There's the T-32. Alright, well, I'm just going to put on my ability, and there you go. Nice. Interesting. Well, not a bad start. Decent bleed to begin with, and we're going to jump down here, and there you go. I'm just going to move up. Nice. Another bounce. T-32 is struggling a bit, I can tell you that. Keep on going, keep on going, and bonk. There you go. Nice 320 damage shell. Interesting. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to pretend like we're backing up. Then we're going to angle the hull. There you go. Nice. Let's go for another tracking shot. I think at this point you might be a little cooked, just because of the fact that you're bouncing me. The armor is not hard to pen on this tank, to be honest. If you aim at this center plate, you'll pen most times you fire at it. But that's like the only weak spot that you're realistically going to be hitting. Problem is, you can see we have no gun depression, which is a problem, right? Not having gun depression is a weakness. So that is something you're always going to have to keep in mind when using this vehicle, is that that gun depression weakness. There you go. Nice shot into the T-32. You're snapping your shots instead of aiming. And that's unfortunately causing you to be in a rather unfortunate situation. And now we're going to activate our armor, which obviously gives me better. Yeah, you can see that time you hit me in the spot you wanted to aim. Yep. GG's. By the way, look how much gold pen this thing has. Like, it literally, it turns the T-32 turret into, you know, actually pennable, which is insane. But yeah, this tank, it's fun. I don't think the Strife is anything crazy. It's pretty average, but it's actually a super heavy, which allows you to get bounces. It's a fun tank. There you go, 1900 damage. I don't know why I'm looking at the results. It's not like it's, you know. Alright, let's give this Blackout guy one more chance. Looks like he's going to use the 100 again. And if he's going to use the 100 again, let's do something different. Let's spice up. You know what? Let's do an interesting one here. If he's going to use the 100, let's use the 100, but let's use the other gun. I'll do a little bit more gold. You never know how much gold you're going to need to use. Alright, here we go. If he only has HE this time, that's on him. Alright, here we go. Now, I'm running extra armor, which is good because he's running the small gun, which means he has less chance of penning me. Alright, Poob. Alright, so this will be the last game for today's video. So what I'm hoping, ideally, is that he goes down this road. Because if he does, I know that I can pen his turret. I know that he can't pen mine. But it looks like he's probably not going to go there. So realistically, he's probably going to be going more down like this road. So I think what we're going to do is wait. Yep, perfect. I was pretty confident in that he was going to be crossing there. Alright. Let's reload. 12.8. I think the 12.8 is better. I think the 15 centimeter is good. I think in a decent player's hands, I'd rather use the 12.8. I think he's over here. So if he is, realistically, just waiting here is going to be the best play to make. We'll spot him. It's not like we're not going to detect him through this bush. It's going to be an easy detection. And while we may have bled him out there, a pretty solid chunker at the end of the day doesn't really matter, because I have about 500 less DPM. So that is something you have to keep in mind. Alright, let's head over here. Can't imagine he went back. Like, I wouldn't have done that. Interesting. He crossed that, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go wide here. I don't want to get proxy spotted or anything, so I definitely think the best play to make is to go all the way wide over here. He's got to be around this corner, right? Like, it's not me that's losing my mind, is it? Let's go as wide as we can. I'm so confused. Bro, what? What? Did he not go here? That's from me. I broke that. I don't understand. We saw him cross. He must have, like, turned back. But I didn't think he would have done that, because... I don't know, oh, okay, well, there you go. Easy shot. 680 damage. Now what we're going to do is we're going to face hug and angle the vehicle. And realistically, doing that is going to give me the best situation here. Of course, he damages my ammo rack first shot, which doesn't really help me. I'm going to aim it on his vehicle and get the pen. Then we're going to back up. Oh my god, can you stop damaging my ammo rack? That would be great. That would be very appreciated. I'm going to back up to a point where he's not going to be able to shoot me in the engine deck. Okay, there you go. At least, no, he still shot me in the engine deck. Or just has a hankering for my engine deck, I guess. There you go. If he damages my Amarak again, I'm going to be so mad. Because, tragic. Also, you don't need to fire gold. You know, you could be firing AP there, and you'd be a lot better off. Yeah, little lame in that regard, but we're going to aim in there, and easy. As you can see, the DPM on that gun is so much better than the gun that I have. Like, it's just the 12.8 farm. If I didn't get that first shot out, I could have lost that. Now, to be fair, my Amarak got damaged 2 times. That's why running double repair kit is sometimes very important. Like, if I was using the VK72 and I had that happen, double damaged, you know, Amarak, I would have lost. But because the 100 doesn't have 2 consumables, I don't run it, obviously. But that was a close game. That was close. If I didn't get that crossing shot out, we would have probably lost that game. Although I probably would have played a bit more passive. I just didn't expect him to cross back. I thought he was going to stay there, and he didn't. But either way, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the 1v1 me for gold 30-minute video. I think that was pretty fun. You can let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.